name is Jonathan.
And I'm 10 years old.
I have cerebral palsy, which means I can't speak.
These are my words, but not my voice.
I've written these words for my friends to read out.
And I've decided that one of them will be the voice of my life.
Let me introduce them to you.
Morgan, who has been my dependable friend.
Cole, who is the best at sport.
Lewis K, who talks to me about anything and everything.
Lewis S is really funny and he has my sense of humour and I like him a lot.
I'm not sure at all what my voice would sound like, so who would it be?
Who would it be, Jonathan?
Lewis?
Yes.
I've asked Lewis to be my voice. We've been friends since I was 4 and he will be awesome at it. Now I have a voice. Let me tell you about my life. For over 8 years, I was locked in my body, unable to communicate. But 2 years ago, that all changed. This year, I've got big plans. I want to change the way children like me are taught.
Hello, Jonathan.
Meet one of the biggest authors on the planet, Michael Morpurgo.
Hello, Jonathan.
And show him one of my own stories.
Can I read it out loud?
Jonathan, can Mr. Morpurgo read your story out loud? Yes.
But first, let me introduce you to my family. I am the big brother to 2 sisters. This is Susanna.
Hello.
My earliest memory is holding her in my arms the day after she was born. It was love at first sight. And Jemima is my youngest sister.
This is a mince pie for Santa.
She is joyful and gives the best cuddles. I have lots of brilliant people who help me every day, including my lovely teacher, Sarah.
Perfect.
My father is a vicar and I love listening to his stories.
Oh, that's your first birthday, isn't it? So much has changed.
And my mother is my greatest supporter.
Monkey.
She has always believed in me. She was the one who unlocked me, helping me find my voice.
Well done. When Jonathan was 7, I decided to start teaching him at home. So I devised a really complicated way for Jonathan to write. It involved him choosing a category of word, like saying he wanted a noun. Carrie. I would give him a whole variety of nouns and he would choose which noun he wanted of the one I'd given him. We also had a little square that said ABC. I want to use a spelling board. Every time we went back to the other board with the noun, the verb and everything on it, he always went to the spelling board, and then I realised he wants to use the spelling board all the time.
This board that has changed my life is actually really simple. If I want to say hi, I look at the grid the H is in. Because the H is highlighted in green, I then look at the green square above. My mother would then sound out her. Next, I'd look at the box the I is in. And as that letter is highlighted in red, I then look at the red square. And my mum would say hi. To confirm that my mum has got it right, I look at the tick box.
He spelt out I-L-O-V-E space Y-O-U. He's chosen to write that, and that makes so much difference because you know that is exactly what he wants to say.
Finally, my voice can be heard.
That's a great smile.
As a deft fingers point, my silent soul emerges. Soaring eagles spread wings. I fly to my destiny.
Very good, Jonathan.
Since being unlocked, I read as many books as I can, but my favourite author is Michael Morpurgo.
And dreams, as we all know, don't make sense.
He's written over 100 books and sold millions of copies around the world. And he's inspired me to use my new voice to write my own book of stories and poems.
Listening, looking.
I'll be meeting Mr. Morpurgo soon, so today I'm beginning a new story for him.
and wanting to be heard. I spend my time.
Using the board takes forever. Writing every single letter with my eyes, it will take me over 30 hours to finish this.
Behind the full stop.
Listening, looking and wanting to be heard, I spend my time unable to tell my story. In the silence, I live behind the curtains.
Oh, you've hooked me.
You're supposed to say that, Mum. It would be much tougher to impress a world-famous author.
Do you think Michael Morpurgo is going to like it when he reads it? I hope so. Yeah, I hope so too. I'm sure he will. I'm sure he will. Good boy.
When my mum was pregnant with me, we had a car crash, which made me disabled.
When Jonathan was born, the doctors didn't really know how things were going to work out, so he spent quite a lot of time in a little baby incubator, almost like a glass greenhouse, with lots of wires and things in there.
The accident caused a serious brain injury, resulting in me being diagnosed with cerebral palsy. The doctor said I might not ever be able to recognise my parents, but my mum believed in me.
Hello, Jonathan.
So I always knew that Jonathan was in there. He just looked at us and he knew us, and yeah, he was always there.
The cerebral palsy means I can't control my arms or legs, and it even affects the muscle coordination in my mouth, so I can't speak. I also have trouble breathing on my own, so I'm always connected to an oxygen tank. But even with all this, I've never let it hold me back. Every afternoon, I go to my local primary school. As you can see, my friends are always happy to see me, and they always include me in everything.
121 centimetres. That's definitely beating us. Jonathan and I have been friends since we were 4, and there was no real way for Jonathan to join in. But somehow we found a way.
I knew Jonathan about the time he started using his board. I spent the entire first couple of months studying Jonathan's every movement. When you first see it happening, it's quite hard to understand, but after a while you soon get the hang of it.
Now it's totally different because we can just chat to each other.
Yes or no? No.
Okay. Jonathan's cheeky, and sometimes he'll make a joke about his carers, which then turns round into a horrid one, like one of his carers is over 200. Even when he's smiling, it makes me start laughing.
What do you call a hedgehog which crosses the road, jumps in a muddy puddle and crosses the road again?
A dirty double crosser.
As you can hear, some of their jokes are terrible.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
I'm up.
I'm up. Who?
But in the end, Rochelle always has me laughing.
Jonathan, where do fish keep their money? In the riverbanks.
I'm only laughing because you're laughing. Am I laughing?
Under the white noise, I hear a clear voice calling me. You got a way of spelling it out so perfectly.
Home time always comes around so quickly.
Hop on.
Okay. Before I went to primary school, I went to a special education school. At first it was great. I met lots of new friends, but we were never taught to read and write. Inside, I am just an ordinary boy, but for years I couldn't speak to anybody. Can you imagine being silent for so long? My sisters can't even do it for 5 minutes. I don't know how long I'll live, but I'm determined to make the most of my life. So I've started a campaign to help children like me. Over 180,000 people have signed my petition, asking for all children, no matter what their disability, to have the opportunity to be taught to read and write.
Petition comments other people with disabled children, petition comment professionals, petition comments parents.
Tomorrow, I have the most important meeting of my life. I've been given the chance to meet the Minister for Vulnerable Children. I didn't even know there was one.
You tell him everything you want to say.
But if anyone can change the way things are, he should be able to.
I never had profound and multiple learning difficulties. Because his communication is so good and he's so extraordinary, he makes for an amazing frontman for that campaign.
I'm so exhausted. I can't keep my eyes open. Luckily, I've got my trusty ventilator handy to give me a boost of oxygen.
Today is one of those days when we're not going to wake up.
This is so important. I have to power on.
Hello. Hi. Are you coming to join us? Yay!
He has a great sense of humour, very witty, cheeky.
My mother is...
Don't close your eyes at this point.
You monkey. So, here's my seat for the meeting. Yes, thank you.
Well, my seat is comfortable. Let's just hope I can stay awake tomorrow.
What got your eyes shut for?
There's always one part of the day that wakes me up. Lunchtime.
You like lunchtime, don't you, Jonathan?
My food goes directly into my stomach through a tube because I can't control the muscles in my mouth. But even though I can't eat normal food, I still love to bake as it puts a smile on the faces of the people who do so much for me.
Let's make some brownies.
Chocolate brownies seem to make them particularly happy.
Oh, that was beautifully done, Jonathan.
Your egg hands. They weave them into your mouth, Mummy.
And with a special button, I even get to do the mixing.
Well done.
I've even written a poem about baking.
What helpers, Jonathan?
Filling, beating, stirring, pouring. Baking beauty, life restoring. Dripping goodness, loving sharing. Aromatic, health repairing. Pleasant parcels held with pleasure. Tantalising taste to treasure.
And should they be in our brownies? I think that's a yes, look. Whee! Right, I'm going to put them in the oven.
Here we are, loading up Jonathan's van. Here's Katie, who will be our driver for the day.
Lovely.
Hello, Katie.
Hello.
Loading up Jonathan's oxygen.
Goodbye, John John. Goodbye, John John. Are you supposed to look at John John?
This is Jonathan being loaded into the car. Feels rather like getting on board an aircraft. There's music in the background, there's everything being loaded on, people being squeezed into every corner. Haven't yet had a safety briefing, but the oxygen masks are already down. Hello, Jonathan. Everybody got sick bags? Ready to go.
We're on our way to London to present my petition to the Minister for Vulnerable Children and Families.
At the moment, he's having his medicine. Jonathan has about 20 medicines a day. They help his kidneys and his bones, help him sleep. Right, we're definitely in London now, Jonathan. There's a big red bus in front of us.
Buckingham Palace.
It's London! Woo!
It's just about to present this to the Minister for Vulnerable Children and Families in the Department of Education. Thank you.
Jonathan only slept for 3 hours. He's smiling about it
Which
now.
isn't funny,
3 hours. A good sleep in the car, though.
This is what 6 months of planning has led to. I'm making my way through the Ministry for Education, thinking of a way to start the conversation with the Minister. I'm nervous but determined to help other children like me who have never been taught to read and write. Here we go.
Hello. Hello. Hello, Jonathan. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for coming in to see me. Hope your journey was okay. I look forward to having a a chat with you.
Thank you for meeting us. Thank you for meeting us.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you as well, and I know we've been sending letters to each other and talking about this really, really important topic, and so today's a chance for us to learn more about what we can do to make the experience of many children and young people who want to learn the opportunity to do so, whatever their needs happen to be. So I hope it will be a productive meeting.
Yes.
When Jonathan sits down and talks to anyone who has authority, people listen to him. I think that people are fairly blown away by what he has to say, and he was a little disarmed by this 10-year-old boy who doesn't make a sound but has such a lot to say.
I can, or I come as a voice for the voiceless.
Well, I think it's really important that no one has barriers put in their way which we can break down, because if they stay there, then it means there's opportunities that you miss out on. And what you've shown me through coming here today is that you have some very, very strong and passionate views that you want to share, and the more that we can educate teachers as well as everybody else, the advantages it has, not just for them but for all their pupils if they do that, then we will have done a good thing, and you will have made something important happen. Cheerio. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Meeting such an important person is a big step in the right direction. That gives me hope that real change will happen. I'm so proud of what we achieved today. I just hope I've done enough, and that one day all schools will be able to
Teach children like me. Full stop. Yeah, hope so.
It's Christmas!
Yay! As a Christian, Christmas is my favourite time of year. My faith is the most important part of my life. This year it was extra special as I was confirmed by the bishop. With Jesus as my saviour, companion and friend, I have lived my hours here with happiness in my spirit and content calm in my soul. I look forward with excited anticipation to the day I will see Jesus and live together with him in his garden forever.
Happy boy.
When we get home, there is Christmas dinner.
Puddings are on the table, Jonathan.
And of course, presents.
Woohoo!
But this Christmas, the best present of all is yet to come.
This is Jonathan on the morning of going to meet Michael Morpurgo. Hello, love. You're excited, aren't you?
This is such a magical day. I can't believe it's here already.
Jemima in the front seat. You're going to be telling Claire how to get there?
I don't know how to get there.
Don't worry, darling. I can tell Claire how to get there.
Mr. Morpurgo is doing a Christmas performance at Exeter Cathedral, and he said he'd meet me backstage before the show.
You watched him all morning, and then I read a Michael Morpurgo booked him in the car. You read him all afternoon, didn't you? And now you're about to meet the man himself.
It's nerve-wracking waiting for such a brilliant author.
How are you feeling? He's listening to the door. What are you? He's looking at someone.
Who are you? Hello, Jonathan. Nice to see you. You came all this way. You silly boy to come all this way to just shake an old man's hand. Nice look here, Jonathan. Yeah. You know how lucky you are to be 10. 10 is younger. 73 is older.
I wrote a story.
Have you got it?
Yeah.
Can I read it out loud?
Jonathan, can Mr. Morpurgo read your story out loud? Yes.
So this is Curtains to Freedom. Listening, looking and wanting to be heard. I spend my time unable to tell my story in silence. I live behind the curtains.
There was that moment where it was just the two of them and there were two writers and they were lost together and it was beautiful.
Preventing my freedom and trapping me and my friend Edward in our magical worlds of colourful pictures and steady drum beats. We retreat to the glorious hidden haven. When will we be flying free beyond the curtain? Higher towards the sky we ascend, so that the undulating ground beneath us is spread like a laden picnic blanket, up and on. Looking at the squares of letters and colours held in front of me, I spell out, teach Edward to write. Au revoir. It's remarkable writing. You use words like a paintbrush and also like a composer. This is extraordinary. I think this needs to be sent to the Minister of Education. People should see this. My goodness me, what thoughts go on in that head?
I am your student.
Oh, well, that's lovely. I've always wanted a student. I think it's a lovely thing to say, because that means I'm a sort of teacher. That's a wonderful thing to be. Thank you for saying that. This is very strong in emotion. This is deeply felt. And I think maybe that's what links your writing to mine, because I try to make my stories full of the feeling that I have inside me. Sometimes it's anger, sometimes it's love. It can be all sorts of things. But certainly that's what I hope people find in the stories. So we're linked that way, I think. You, me, and Shakespeare.
I can't quite believe my hero read my story. We travelled the landscape of my emotion together.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hello, how are you? What's your name?
Susanna.
Let me shake you by a hand. And you as well. You're not Susanna, are you? Very nice to meet you. Jonathan, are these your sisters, you poor thing? You have a lot to put up with in life, don't you?
Yes.
I don't really like meeting writers who are every bit as good as me, but there you go. Particularly when they're younger than me.
Very much enjoyed meeting a writer. Oh. Older than me, is it? Yeah.
I'm not often speechless, Jonathan, but I sort of am. Listen, it's been lovely meeting you, and I see you after the thing, and I hope you like the singing, and I hope you like the story. You tell me afterwards, okay?
Yeah. Thank you very much.
I began work on it on Christmas Eve, and everyone was singing along to Good King Wenceslas.
Listening to Michael Morpurgo's Christmas story was beautiful.
I loved it.
I did too.
We all did.
Did you enjoy that?
A while, doesn't it?
Did you like it?
You are
Compelling.
You always come out with surprising words. Lovely, Jonathan. I so love meeting you. It's made my evening.
But there's one more question I still need to ask him.
Would you please write a foreword for my book?
Yes, I'd be honoured.
Thank you so much. Thank you. You've absolutely made his year.
Have a blessed Christmas.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
I'm so happy he said yes. What a night. It really was the best present.
Oh, Jonathan, look, there's an email here, and on the back of the meeting you had with the Minister, there's some research which has come out from the government, and it says, provide research and case studies into the effective teaching of literacy for non-verbal pupils with complex disabilities. What do you think about that?
This is great news, but I won't be happy until every child is given the opportunity to read and write, and my campaign won't be over until that day.
It's a step in the right direction. Well, it certainly is a step in the right direction, Jonathan. There's not many 10-year-olds who can campaign for the government and end up getting some research commissioned on the back of their campaign.
What a year it's been. Today I turn 11.
Happy birthday to you.
Mr. Morpurgo has sent me the foreword for my book.
Hi, Jonathan. It's Michael here. Jonathan, meeting you that day has left its mark on me. It's a memory I shall hold dear for the rest of my life. So I thought I would write you this foreword. Jonathan has opened the door for us into his world and reached out his hand to us in his writing. When we take his hand as we read, he is not locked in anymore. And neither are we. We join him in his journey. He joins us in ours. Not alone anymore, Jonathan.
Very excited that we're going to go and see this literary agent.
Who knows what will happen next year, but I'm going to make every moment count. I've asked Lewis to be my voice. We've been friends since I was 4, and he will be awesome at it. There's always one part of the day that wakes me up.
Great work, guys.
Brilliant.